On Christmas Eve, right in the middle of my own wedding, the man who had stolen my life decided to bring the ceremony to a halt. His goal? To kick me out of the world-leading tech company I had built from the ground up. My fiancée, Chloe, didn't just stand by. She intertwined her fingers with his, lending her voice to his cause. Below the altar, our friends and family roared and jeered, turning the hotel ballroom into something resembling a zoo. Ryan Becker, the imposter's son, had tears welling in his red-rimmed eyes. He sounded fragile, but a cunning, defiant glint shone through. "Ethan, you already have Chloe," he whimpered. "Can't you just give me a chance to prove myself? Think of it as a Christmas present from a brother." The whispers from the crowd seemed to grate on Ryan's nerves. He began to sway, looking like a strong breeze would knock him over. Seeing his pathetic state, my fiancée, Chloe Sullivan, became enraged. She gripped the handles of her wheelchair, her knuckles turning white. "Ethan Dalton, how can you be so cruel?" she seethed. "All Ryan wants is your company. What's the big deal? Are you really going to ruin his Christmas over this? It's disgusting. Sign the resignation agreement, and we can continue the wedding. Otherwise," Chloe yanked a pull cord under her seat, and her words left no room for argument. "Otherwise, I'm leaving you at the altar." The threat, punctuated by the roar of a small diesel engine bolted to the underside of her wheelchair, sent the guests into a frenzy. Everyone was itching for a show. A few of the more emotional attendees had already grabbed chairs, ready to physically defend this display of true love. I just smirked. "Is that all? No need to run away over something so small," I said. "And let's not get violent on Christmas Eve. I'll sign." I snatched the resignation papers and scrawled my name. A wave of mockery washed over me. Chloe and Ryan stared at the document with undisguised greed. My so-called parents, alongside Ryan's biological mother, who also happened to be the Dalton family's cleaning lady, were beaming, their smiles stretching from ear to ear. They had no idea that everything was going exactly according to my plan. With my signed resignation in his hands, Ryan couldn't contain his glee. "Chloe, look, I did it. Ethan Dalton's useless tech company is mine now. I'm the world's greatest scientist and entrepreneur. Ha ha ha. The robotic dogs, the drones, and his bionic android technology, it's all mine. Mean it." "Yes, you did it. I'm so proud of you." Chloe's eyes glistened as she looked at him with pure adoration. My parents clambered onto a dinner table, laughing maniacally as they started pelting me with buttered rolls. "Get out, you stray. Without the company, you're worthless. The Daltons don't support dead weight." A warm, greasy roll hit my cheek. I brushed it off, my hands clenching at my sides, a cold smirk plastered on my face. It was Ryan who pretended to defend me. "Mom, Dad, Chloe, don't be so hard on him. He only became a worthless leech after he gave me the company. It's Christmas, the time for new beginnings. We should give my brother a new opportunity." He paused, staring at me with the smug certainty of a master strategist. "My company needs a janitor to clean the bathrooms. I think my brother is the perfect fit, and I wanted to do it by hand. It's the only way to get them truly clean." The two old fossils on the table had a moment of revelation, shooting Ryan an enthusiastic thumbs up. "Our precious boy thinks of everything. And besides, that stray founded Nexus Dynamics himself. All the core technology came from him. If we keep him around, any future breakthroughs he has can pave the way for our dear Ryan." Realizing the genius of this, the head of the Dalton family slammed his hand on the table and roared at me. "Admit it. This was your plan all along, wasn't it? You wanted to use Ryan's rise as a cover, a classic bait and switch, so you could start over and laugh at him from the sidelines. How could you be so malicious? I knew we never should have bothered to find you." His wife took it a step further, her voice a venomous hiss. "No, we should have drowned him in a toilet the moment he was born. He's the one who got himself lost, and he still has the nerve to accuse Ryan's mother of kidnapping him. He's been competing with Ryan for attention every single day. A person like that is a sin just for existing." I opened my mouth and closed it. Words failed me. I'd signed the papers. I'd given them exactly what they wanted, and somehow this was still my fault. "You'll always find a reason to blame me, won't you?" I just shook my head and chuckled bitterly. Chloe noticed my dejected expression and was instantly displeased. "Ethan, I know this is hard for you," she said condescendingly. But you've been bullying Ryan for years. Giving him your company is just fair compensation. It's how things should be. People destined for greatness don't get bogged down in the details. What's wrong with scrubbing a few toilets? Who are you trying to guilt trip with that pathetic look? Chloe, I started to explain. She cut me off with a wave of her hand. Enough. Explanations are just excuses, and excuses are admissions of guilt. Ryan has been through so much. We need to be the bigger people here. You always said I was too close to him, but did you ever stop to think that if you weren't so petty, I wouldn't have to clean up your messes and comfort your poor brother? Well said. The Sullivan girl has character. My grandfather, Theodore Dalton Sr., roared with delight from his seat at the head table. He turned to his old friend, Chloe's grandfather, and nodded approvingly. The Sullivans are true Seattle old money. The girl knows what's right. I, Theodore Dalton, have to admit I'm impressed. Not at all. Not at all, Mr. Sullivan replied smoothly. The Daltons are the reasonable ones, treating an adopted son so well. And you, my old friend, you spoil your adopted grandson to the heavens. It's truly admirable. Watching this surreal performance from my family, my righteous fiancé, and the triumphant Ryan waving my resignation papers, I could only throw my hands up in resignation. The Seattle elite, what a circus. 2. Ever since my family found me when I was 18, the imposter son who had taken my place, Ryan Becker, had been putting on a masterclass in feigned misery. And, of course, everyone rushed to comfort him, while I, the one they had supposedly searched so hard for, was cast as the villain. It didn't matter that I found ironclad proof that my childhood disappearance was a deliberate kidnapping orchestrated by Ryan's biological mother, so her son could live a life of luxury. My family chose to be selectively blind. They convinced themselves I had bribed officials to forge documents just to compete with their precious Ryan. And Chloe, who had known Ryan since they were kids, suddenly changed her tune. After formally acknowledging the engagement between the Sullivan and Dalton families, and establishing me as her fiancé, she stuck to Ryan like glue. Her excuse was always the same. Ryan is a Dalton, too. He's in so much pain now that the real heir is back. If I don't help him, who will? Family is priceless. Ethan is just lashing out because he feels hurt. I have to make this sacrifice for the sake of their future reconciliation. Ethan is a good person. He's just lost his way. It's my duty as his fiancé to stop him from doing things he'll regret later. With the tacit approval and even encouragement of both our families, Chloe and Ryan became completely inseparable. The details of what followed are too sordid to recount, but if Chloe hadn't been partying so hard a few days ago, prompting the Sullivan family butler to break both her legs, it's doubtful she would have even made it to the wedding today, wheelchair or not. I guess some people never learn. Ethan, listen to me. In life, sometimes you have to lose to win, Chloe said, rolling her wheelchair over to me. She reached out to pluck the groom's boutonniere from my lapel. You're always so calculating. It's not good for Ryan, it's not good for our parents, and it's not good for anyone. When you're old and you look back on this, you'll be filled with regret. Why is there a diesel engine attached to your wheelchair? I asked, pointing to the sputtering, smoke-belching contraption beneath her. Chloe had the grace to look embarrassed. Well, I was worried you wouldn't be reasonable about giving the company to Ryan. If you'd said no, Ryan and I were going to run off together to make you regret it. But since the butler broke my legs, I had to improvise. She let out a long sigh of relief. Luckily, you're not a total lost cause. You can still listen to reason. Ryan will take your place for the rest of the ceremony. You can go rest. Someone will be here to pick you up shortly. Pick me up? To go where? I asked casually, not moving as she removed the flower. Oh, I almost forgot. I got you a special wedding gift. Chloe smoothed the wrinkles on my suit jacket where the boutonniere had been, a sly smile on her face. Now that you're unemployed, you'll need some time to adjust, and Ryan will need time to stabilize things at the company. Your presence in Seattle would just be a distraction for him. Plus, you've been so petty and immature lately. So, I signed you up for a 6-month program at the Serpent's Head Re-Education Camp in Nevada. You'll learn some discipline. By the time you get back, you'll be ready to be a father. Aren't you happy? Me? A father? I smirked. Chloe, since the day we met, I have never once touched you. What are you talking about? At my question, her eyes darted away, and her voice became weaker. Don't say that. That one night, you were drunk. I don't drink. Then I remembered wrong. Look, it doesn't matter. The baby is innocent. I say it's yours, so it's yours. Becoming emotional, she placed a hand on her slightly rounded belly and began to gag dramatically. Chloe, Ryan shrieked, instantly flying into a rage. He rushed over and slapped me hard across the face. Ethan Dalton, do you have any idea what she's sacrificed for you? She's carrying your child. I touched my stinging cheek and watched their performance with a cold smile. Chloe looked like she was about to cry. Ethan, you're not going to be irresponsible, are you? 3. Why should I be responsible? I carefully smoothed out the fabric of my jacket and asked with genuine curiosity. You know as well as I do that the child isn't mine. Why should I give up my company and get shipped off to some snake-infested hellhole to learn discipline? Chloe gasped, covering her mouth as if I'd just uttered the most offensive statement imaginable. Ethan Dalton, what century are you living in? Are you really that old-fashioned? Does it really matter if the child is biologically yours or not? See, brother, this is why Mom, Dad, and Chloe don't trust you. Ryan chimed in, rubbing his red palm. Your head is filled with backward ideas. The company would only go downhill in your hands. He adopted a tone of profound wisdom. Look at how Mom and Dad treat me. That's the perfect example. You don't understand responsibility, and you certainly don't understand love. So let go of the company, go to Serpent's Head, and learn how to be a real man, not the troublemaking degenerate you are now. Clap, clap, clap. Thunderous applause erupted from the guests. Mr. Dalton and Mr. Sullivan were clapping the loudest. Good boy. So mature. The future of the Dalton family is bright with you. Nexus Dynamics has a real future in your hands. The Daltons and the Sullivans have a bright tomorrow. Ha ha ha. I honestly couldn't comprehend the logic of these two old men, especially the Dalton patriarch. I decided to ask. Just a quick question. You've seen the DNA report. You know for a fact that this Ryan Becker is not your son with the cleaning lady. He has absolutely no biological connection to you. Are you really this happy about stealing the company your actual son built before he even came home, just to hand it over to an imposter? You don't know a damn thing. Mr. Dalton sneered, full of self-importance. Greatness is not created. It is stumbled upon by chance. You don't deserve your position. Therefore, you are a thief. By taking the fruits of your theft and placing them in the hands of someone worthy, I am serving justice and returning things to their rightful owner. He shook his head, looking smug. And don't you feel wronged? I'm actually doing you a favor. You? Doing me a favor? Sometimes, a person's thinking is so warped that no amount of processing power can decipher it. Mr. Dalton, probably assuming the game was won, dropped all pretense. His smile was wild. Since it's Christmas, I'll let you in on another piece of good news. Chloe's child. You'll claim it whether you want to or not. Otherwise, Malice twisted his face into a grotesque mask. Otherwise, you can plan on your family line ending with you. Is that because of the daily detox smoothie that Ryan's mother, our dear housekeeper, has been bringing me? The one with the sterilizing agent in it. I asked, tilting my head. He froze for a second, then burst out laughing, his grin nearly splitting his face. Ha ha, so you're not a complete idiot. You're already a neutered waste of space. From now on, you will treat Ryan and Chloe's child as your own, and when he grows up, he'll still call you Dad. You started giving me that stuff the day I came back, so you spent millions to find me, just so I could raise your fake son's fake son? You old man, you should really get your head checked. None of your business, he shot back, utterly shameless. But my next words shattered his composure. I never drank it. You didn't drink it. You ungrateful brat. Mr. Dalton, realizing his plan to cut off my lineage had failed, was so enraged he looked like he was having a heart attack. If Mr. Sullivan hadn't been there to give him his medication, he might have met his maker on Christmas Eve. Mrs. Dalton frantically rubbed her husband's back. Don't worry, dear, don't worry. You're always so impulsive. I had a backup plan. She turned to me, her eyes filled with venom. Don't get cocky, you little pest. The scented sachet in your suit pocket was also filled with a sterilizing drug. I had it prepared the day you arrived. Threw it out, replaced it with some nice sandalwood from a stall at Pike Place Market. Smells great. My grandfather, Theodore Sr., slammed his fist on the table. Don't you get cocky, you disrespectful whelp. Your food was poisoned, too. A special concoction I imported from the Serpent's Head camp itself. It would have done the job. Didn't eat it. Now, it was Mr. Sullivan's turn to laugh sinisterly. No matter. I also hired an expert to administer a poison through Chloe. If Ethan here ever touched her, he'd be dead within a year. I never touched her. Mr. Sullivan was a bit slow on the uptake and didn't notice the shocked expressions on the Daltons' faces. Empty words. If you never touched Chloe, then how is she pregnant? A collective facepalm went through the entire ballroom. Mr. Sullivan was clearly not on the same page as everyone else. I burst out laughing, a loud, unrestrained laugh. A bunch of lunatics and an idiot thought they could take me down? They clearly hadn't had a good look in the mirror lately. For, you bitch, you were carrying poison. Why didn't you tell me? Before I could even enjoy the sight of my family's meltdown, Ryan Becker was the first to break. He slapped Chloe so hard that even with the stable, diesel-powered chassis, her wheelchair nearly tipped over. Chloe clutched her cheek, her eyes welling up with tears. Ryan, I didn't know. And you were the one who said you wanted your brother to compensate you, that you needed me to comfort you. How can you blame me? You're useless. How did I get stuck with such a moron? Realizing he was probably poisoned, Ryan forgot all about the joy of his corporate takeover. His eyes red with panic, he started grappling with Chloe. Just then his phone rang. He answered it, mumbled a few words, and his face went pale. His eyes darted around, and when he looked back at Chloe, his demeanor had shifted back to its usual weak, fawning state. Chloe, I'm so sorry. I just got emotional. I wasn't thinking. It's Christmas, our special day. Please don't take it to heart. There's a crisis in my brother's company. It's imploding. I have to go deal with a mess. You and Ethan can finish the ceremony. Don't let me ruin your big day. He turned to run out of the ballroom, but Chloe's hand shot out and grabbed his jacket. After a lifetime of being oblivious, Chloe's mind suddenly became razor sharp. She held on like a cornered animal. Ryan Becker, where do you think you're going? I told you. I have to go clean up my brother's mess. Let go. Ryan's patience was wearing thin, and he struggled to break free. No, you've changed, Ryan. You think I don't know it was you, not your brother, who leaked that story to the press and got me beaten by the butler. You just wanted me out of the way. You're hiding something. I'm not hiding anything, you idiot. But Chloe was terrifyingly lucid now. Oh, please. I may be an idiot, but I know exactly what kind of person you are. We've been rivals our whole lives. I know you inside and out. I was only using you to provoke Ethan, to see if he really loved me. But you, a selfish, vicious piece of trash like you would never abandon the chance to gloat over your defeated brother just to deal with a business emergency. Something terrible has happened, and you're trying to run. Seeing her suddenly become intelligent at the worst possible moment, Ryan exploded. You sanctimonious witch. You call me selfish and vicious? Look at yourself. Ethan built that damn company with his own 2 hands, and you and your pack of vultures decided you could just take it. You threw yourself at me. You deliberately got pregnant with my child. And that was just to provoke Ethan? Are you out of your mind? I'll admit I'm vicious, but everyone in this room is more vicious than the last. And you, Chloe Sullivan, you are the most vicious of them all. With that, he delivered a savage kick, sending Chloe in her wheelchair tumbling across the floor. He didn't spare a glance for her or their unborn child as he sprinted for the exit. Freedom was just outside the door. But, Ethan, I'm sorry. I was wrong, so incredibly wrong. Give me another chance. I can prove myself. Chloe stammered, struggling to sit up, offering a confession that was far too late. A late apology is worth less than dirt, especially one from someone so thoroughly toxic and unhinged. Someone else could have it. Ryan Becker. Chloe screamed, yanking the engine's pull cord. The diesel motor roared to life, and the wheelchair shot forward like an arrow. Thud! It slammed into Ryan just as he reached the doors. He went airborne in a wild spin before crashing to the ground, howling in agony. My back is broken. Your back. I'll break your neck. Chloe launched herself from the wheelchair and pounced on him, tearing at him with her nails as he clawed at her hair. The guests, seeing the wedding devolve into a brawl, began to sneak towards the exits. This is a disaster, Mrs. Dalton shrieked. Her perfectly planned narrative of Ethan is disgraced Ryan heroically marries in his brother's stead, have been completely derailed. Her eyes, red and wild, landed on me. Ethan, Dalton, this is your fault. I knew we should have never brought a curse like you into this house. Guards, seize him. Tonight, we're dumping him in the Puget Sound. A few security guards, who had been enjoying the show, snapped to attention and moved to surround me. But just then, crash. The main doors were kicked open. A team in full hazmat gear, carrying rifles, stormed into the ballroom. Nobody move. Hands in the air. Get on the ground. Chaos erupted. What's going on? Is this a counterterrorism raid? Oh God, I want my mommy. In the pandemonium, Ryan managed to knock Chloe unconscious and staggered to his feet, clutching his back. He stared at me, his eyes bloodshot. Ethan Dalton, did you report me? What do you think? I said with a careless shrug. I'd seen his every move. There was no coming back from this for him. You bastard. I'm the one who deserves this life. I'm a chosen one. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. How dare you defy fate? I'll kill you. He lunged, moving with shocking speed. A gleaming fruit knife was in his hand. Before I could say a word, he plunged the blade into my stomach. Clang. Huh, you're? Congratulations, you found my secret, I said with a cheerful grin. Merry Christmas. The only thing that met him was my bright smile and the whistling sound of a steel hand swinging towards his face. 5. Hey, the monkey show is over. That's enough. It's Christmas Eve. Don't make them have to drag you out. Wait. I'm about to counterattack. Don't take my VR headset. I was cornered in the changing room by a woman in a stunning wedding gown. Maya Vance snatched the helmet from my head, the one I used to remotely control my bionic android duplicate, as I made a last, futile protest. You don't need to counterattack, she said, exasperated. I just heard from Director Evans. The military has taken over the containment of the cognitive contagion carriers at the Dalton and Sullivan estates. And national security is handling Ryan Becker's espionage case. You've already used the android to gather countless terabytes of data. Their intelligence value is 0. After they're taken away, they'll spend the rest of their lives as lab specimens. Why are you still wasting time on a bunch of dead men walking? My fiancée pouted, clearly annoyed. I could only offer a sheepish smile. All right. I just like to see things through to the end. You have to admit, the infected Daltons and Sullivans put on a hell of a show. Once they're in quarantine, we'll never see anything that's spectacular again. You've been acting with them through a VR headset for years. No one to quit, she insisted. Don't keep Director Evans and the others waiting. Maya had a point, so I let it go. It's hilarious, though, she grumbled as we walked towards our real wedding reception. Those carriers are so delusional. Our company is a strategic national asset, vital to the country's future. Did they really think a bit of trashy family drama and a corporate backstabbing scheme would be enough for them to just take it all? I knew she was still fuming that I'd spent the first hours after our own ceremony jacking into an android to play games with a bunch of lunatics. I rubbed the back of my neck. Hey, I was doing it for my country. Think about it. We poured our hearts and souls into building Nexus Dynamics from nothing. And right after we succeed, this long-lost family I haven't seen in 18 years shows up at the orphanage looking for me. And they're just radiating malice from day one. Any normal person would have told them to get lost. If Director Evans hadn't told us it involved a dangerous cognitive contagion and that they needed my help to investigate, I never would have played along. I think you got addicted to the drama. Or don't tell me you actually developed feelings for that psycho Chloe. Maya's gaze turned sharp, and I immediately threw my hands up in surrender. No way. Absolutely not. I had to admit, the role-playing had been a bit addictive. After all, once the data collection was complete, these bizarre specimens would be recovered, isolated, and disposed of. They were a rare commodity. But to suggest I had feelings for Chloe? Please. On one hand, you have a deranged woman who is completely detached from reality. On the other, you have the woman who grew up with me in an orphanage, my partner in every sense of the word, my rock as we built our dream. It's not a hard choice. I might be a little crazy, but I'm not an idiot. 6. When we entered the main hall, the VIPs were all there waiting for us. They hadn't left after the daytime ceremony and were now seated at several large round tables, enjoying the evening. No one was paying attention to the holiday specials playing on the big screens. They were all deep in lively conversation. Seeing me arrive, they all raised their glasses. To Director Dalton, a young genius who has done us all a great service in stopping the spread of this cognitive contagion. Ethan, my boy, this old man owes you one. Ha ha, Ethan, come over here. You've been under too much stress. You've lost weight. You need to rest. Director Evans, our primary government liaison, was particularly enthusiastic. I went from table to table, sharing toasts with the assembled dignitaries. It was clear that containing the outbreak from the Dalton and Sullivan families in Seattle was a major victory and a cause for celebration. Although many more potential infection sites were still developing across the country, the experience gained here would make future operations much smoother. I intertwined my fingers with Maya's. In her eyes, I saw not only a deep and abiding love, but a flame of hope that would never be extinguished. "Merry Christmas, my love," I whispered. "Merry Christmas, Ethan." It was a day of great joy. I had married the woman I loved, the android operation had brought a dangerous threat under control, and I was celebrating with the leaders of the country. Life was good.